Quiet on the set.
Camera speed.
Sound production, take one.
Action!
Today on AKAPAD, it's Arena Wars 2024, another crowd-funded movie. I believe it had a run at 300K, and it came back for another 70 to 80K. Roughly $500,000, 400,000. This movie stars, it's got some people, maybe you heard of them, Michael Madsen, Eric Roberts. They're on screen, they're off the screen. Michael Madsen, I feel, incredible. He plays this commentator where he's buddied with Robert Donovan. It's a ton of fun. It really is. I love the banter. I love the back and forth that these two have on screen. What's the plot? Convicts are thrown into a arena. Now, this isn't multi-roomed. It's not anything like Running Man. Not even close. But we have rooms, and the rooms have themed killers, and we have convicts sent into these rooms to fight. And here's the wild thing. The convicts do one hell of a job. I wasn't expecting that. This isn't a movie just about themed killers doing themed killing things or whatever you think they would do. This is, and dare I say, this is a movie about the struggle, survival, and breakthrough of the human spirit. There's this flick. Made me think of it. It's called Rollerball with James Caan, directed by Norman Jewison, later remade by John McTiernan. Rollerball. When we get to the end of Rollerball, when everyone is chanting Jonathan, and we know why they're doing it, we know what it means. That's what we're going for in this movie. I would say this movie's way closer to Rollerball than anything starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. But don't bring that to Reddit, because Reddit's been trashing this movie. I feel it's my obligation. It's a little bit of what we do here on this podcast. And I think we're going to have a new Friday theme. I think on Fridays we're going to focus on movies like this. Because when I watch movies like this, I enjoy them. I get a smile on my face. My coffee tastes a little bit better when I'm watching this movie. Dare I say, these are crowd-funded popcorn movies. Now, our director. Can we talk about him real quick? Brandon Slagle.
This guy's great. He's a writer, director, producer, actor, heavy metal musician. I don't know what he does on the heavy metal front. I would assume he's a little bit of a front man, front guy, the guy you want in front of the heavy metal stuff. This movie feels like a metal song. It looks and feels. It has a rhythm. It has a momentum. And dare I say, also, like maybe potential character moments that are metal. Because we have characters who, they're criminals, they're convicts, and we're rooting for them. We're rooting for them. It's almost like we get to the point where they're killers, and we're rooting for killers. This is metal. Now, my one big criticism for this movie, Brandon, if you ever hear this, I hope you do. Why do we have so many similar heads for our themed killers? See, the themed killers have great bodies. They got good themes. They got good ideas. But their heads, they all look like that they're walking out of a WW1 mustard gas trench. What's with the gas masks? It works for one or two of them. It's a little bit too much. It's a little bit redundant. Was it worked into the story and I missed a line or two? Potentially. And I wouldn't say I'm nitpicking because, like, visually, we want these things to sing. We want them to have a rhythm amongst themselves. Were they afraid, maybe, of like being a little bit too much or too close to The Purge? If that's true, I get it. But this movie's great. It's great on the level that potentially, like, right, I don't know, was this shot in a 4-car garage and they split up. They split up the garage. We have a couple, right? We have a couple walls that we can put things on, and we can rotate our shooting. We can shoot for 24 hours straight if we wanted to, but we have our different areas. We have our commentary area. We have our executive booth area or executive office area. We have our fight or the arena area, which just has rigging all over the place. I mean, a lot of that set reminded me of WCW Nitro way back in the NWO days. But with all of that, there is an artistry to get a story out of these limited sets. There's an artistry to get choreography and fights and moments and cutaways. We're great with cutting away to the crowd. I just wish there was more weirdos or odd things happening in the crowd. Movies like this, I like seeing that the world is corrupted and eroded and somewhat desensitized. But regardless, I got that sense. I think the editing is there, the fight choreography is there. Is the fighting? Can we get a little bit more? Do I desire a little bit more? I do, but as an individual that wants to see things unfold, as an audience member that wants the story, that just wants to be zapped away for a little bit, Arena Wars does it. And I think there's a lot of credit that needs to go to the director, because I don't see it getting done with limited means as much as this. The crowdfunding, roughly $400,000 on two separate runs. I believe one run was $380,000 and the other one was around $76,000. Potentially, these are all quick searches. I didn't want to drill too deeply into that, but it's great to see that something could get crowdfunded and it's in my doorstep, so to speak, within one calendar year. Can you imagine the barrier to entry for that, or for an audience member? Back in the day, still had to be a DVD. Back in the day, still had to be a VHS, and it can take months and years and forever you would maybe read about something in Fangoria magazine. You might not see it till 2 to 3 years later, even if you were a person of means. Arena Wars is a part of what makes this podcast special. On Fridays, I like to bring you guys items that I enjoy, that I think we can get something out of, that is fun and a little bit of a brain dump. Arena Wars is there. And I just feel Arena Wars is the perfect Friday movie. Now, this whole experience with me watching this film, very similar to recently, I did a movie called Craving. Directed by, written by, I believe even edited, maybe even cinematographied by a guy named Jay Horton, who made that movie for $100,000. Now, big price difference between that movie and this. I reached out to Jay too. I sent him the podcast episode. We had a nice little back and forth. And he owned up. He owned up to a couple of things I said. This might be the same producing group. I think there are similar names attached to both movies. They're both crowdfunded movies. But what this is opening up for me, and I hope it does it for you too, I'm seeing a path of what true film criticism is, and what true, developing the ideas around the experience of film, which I don't think we have a lot of in the modern day. Craving. I deeply enjoyed that movie. This movie, I deeply enjoyed it because they're just so much fun, and it's okay not to be serious, and you don't have to play dumb and act like you're on some type of moral high horse when you see films like this. I thought this movie had a better flow with the acting, with the directing. There's humor, there's pops. Like I said, for Arena Wars, to me, everything goes down to the banter that Michael Mazzini has as a commentator. That banter builds this history into everything we're watching. I think it's great. I think it's there. I caught this orange. I believe it's on Amazon Prime. Check this movie out, aka Patterson. Have a chance to check out Craving. Listen to that podcast episode. Scroll down, listen to it, then go check out that movie. This is what we're doing. And these guys, I feel like, can be the future. These are the next phases of the big American genre makers. So let these guys cook. I love you. Rock and roll.
Okay, that's a wrap.